This podcast is brought to you by Three Rivers Energy Partners. In today's episode of Digest This.
RNG gives utilities a leg up meeting those growing demands sustainably.
There's a mix of short-term programs like funding heat pumps and efficiency upgrades for homes, and long-term action like a 65% emissions reduction goal by 2040.
RNG really shines, especially when you look at projects turning industrial waste into energy.
Welcome to Digest This, Unpacking Our Sustainable Future, where we dive deep into the latest developments in sustainability and renewable energy. Join us in exploring the pioneering solutions and technologies that are shaping our future. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Digest This, Unpacking Our Sustainable Future. I'm Alex, here with Emily. Emily, can you believe all the things happening in clean energy at the state level lately?
Oh, it's honestly kind of mind-blowing, Alex. We're seeing states seriously step up, especially as federal policy's been backsliding. Massachusetts, for example, just overhauled their smart solar program, which is especially cool because, in addition to growing the state's solar industry, it targets energy equity. They're prioritizing solar for low-income communities and pushing for development on already built spaces like rooftops and parking lots, not just gobbling up undeveloped land.
Yeah, and New York's been moving too. They okayed a new solar project putting 140 megawatts onto the grid, a good chunk that'll power about 23,000 homes. And it's also going to cut carbon emissions by, around 177,000 metric tons? And I always get a kick out of the job numbers. I think it's 330 clean energy jobs. It's not just about kilowatts, it's about livelihoods.
Right. And let's not forget the Ohio Power Siting Board. They approved a 120 megawatt solar project, installing 250,000 panels. It's like states aren't just pushing back against federal rollbacks, they're showing what local leadership can actually do. I mean, California pretty much broke its own record last year. 2/3 of their electricity came from clean energy in 2023, and in 2024, they added enough megawatts to power over 5 million homes. That's huge.
It's also this great counterpoint to all the doom and gloom headlines we see. People miss how these policies actually put downward pressure on energy costs, too. Like, more solar in the mix means less volatility from fossil fuel prices. And, Emily, I'd love your take. Do these programs really drive local job growth in the way people hope?
I'd say yes, but it's layered. On paper, you get all these new construction jobs and longer-term maintenance gigs. But there's also this multiplier effect. Think local supply chains, more spending at small businesses, and hopefully, skill development in communities that need it most. And, building on what we talked about last episode with solar stalling, these state-level pushes are giving the industry a much-needed anchor during uncertain times at the federal level.
Exactly. It's a reminder that policy isn't just a headline, it's millions of homes and thousands of paychecks. Okay, where was I going? Oh, costs. States that double down on renewables are steadying both the grid and family budgets. It's not perfect, but it's progress. Should we get into what's happening with utilities next?
Definitely. So we're seeing states not just boosting clean energy, but also holding utilities to account for both their emissions and their customers' costs. The Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, or RGGI for short, recently agreed to even lower emissions targets. Basically, it triples the rate of emissions cuts in these 11 East Coast states. And there's direct financial incentive for utilities to really get on board with clean energy projects now.
Yeah, and North Carolina's a good example where policy actually stopped a backward slide. The governor vetoed a bill that would have let utilities off the hook for carbon reduction goals. So the targets are sticking, and utilities can't just, shift those costs onto consumers. Actually, these sorts of interventions help keep pollution and monthly bills in check.
And Oregon's doubling down, literally. They doubled the funds for their energy assistance program, which matters a lot for low-income households who might otherwise be choosing between power and groceries for the month. These aren't just abstract policy moves. They translate directly to families staying connected.
Exactly. And there's a bigger system at work here. Cleaner utility portfolios make the grid more resilient, less at risk from sudden price spikes or fuel shortages, and honestly, more equitable, since vulnerable communities aren't paying the price, sometimes literally for dirty power generation.
That's a good segue. Utilities are being challenged to move faster on integrating renewables, but what about renewable natural gas? RNG, especially from sources like industrial organic waste or agriculture, is infrastructure compatible. Utilities can start hitting their new emissions goals by blending RNG into their portfolios, and not just relying on wind and solar. I mean, we touched on this back when discussing utility partnerships in the Southeast. A more diverse, clean energy mix really does foster resilience.
Yeah, and resilience isn't just a buzzword. If utilities step up their RNG game, they're not only slashing methane that would otherwise go into the atmosphere, but also creating a local, renewable resource that fits right into their existing pipelines. It's a cost-effective lever, one that can be pulled right now, not 5 years from now. And if they pair that with ongoing electrification and efficiency programs, they're actually giving ratepayers more stable bills and a more secure energy future.
Absolutely, and it's only going to get more important as we ask these energy systems to juggle everything from more data centers to climate-driven disasters. RNG gives utilities a leg up meeting those growing demands sustainably.
Speaking of resilience, can we talk about the latest on climate resilience planning and what's happening with RNG at the local level?
Totally. So, Connecticut just passed a major climate resiliency bill aimed at tackling today's energy costs and tomorrow's climate crises. There's a mix of short-term programs, like funding heat pumps and efficiency upgrades for homes, and long-term action, like a 65% emissions reduction goal by 2040. Vermont's Climate Council is taking a similar approach, prioritizing home efficiency, electrification, even forest protection, and electric grid upgrades.
And what ties all this together is the need for energy resilience at the local level. That's where renewable natural gas, or RNG, really shines, especially when you look at projects turning industrial waste, think distilleries or sugar mills, into energy. It's an incredible way to close that resource loop.
Yeah, and it fits beautifully into that circular economy framework. Waste streams get intercepted and transformed into usable fuel instead of just being, well, waste. And these aren't theoretical projects anymore. We're seeing plant after plant come online, especially with partnerships between major RNG producers and companies that already have distribution networks in place. This is actually happening. The infrastructure is real, and the numbers show it can be scaled up.
And it's important to highlight, in the U.S., manure-to-RNG projects across multiple states are coming together through partnerships with dairy farms. Instead of methane escaping from manure lagoons, it's being converted into RNG, which not only slashes emissions but also brings down total energy costs for communities. It's a win on all fronts. Utilities get a clean, drop-in fuel, and cities get cleaner air and more resilient grids.
Exactly. I mean, I might be repeating myself here, but integrating RNG into wider resilience planning really turns circular economy theory into concrete action. It's these kinds of closed-loop systems, from industrial waste streams to ag waste, that help communities adapt to climate change plus keep more dollars circulating locally.
Totally agree, and to me it goes to show. If you want to see where the future of energy is trending, you look for places where waste isn't just a problem, but a resource. All right, I think we should cap it there for today. Emily, always great to dig into this stuff with you.
You too, Alex. Thanks everyone for joining us for another episode of Digest This. We'll keep watching the innovations and conflicts as they unfold, so stay tuned for next time.
Take care, folks. See you on the next one. Thank you for listening to Digest This, Unpacking Our Sustainable Future, a Three Rivers Energy Partners podcast. Three Rivers Energy Partners is a renewable energy company that empowers organizations with the ability to create a sustainable future by converting organic waste streams into renewable energy and resources. To get the latest episode of Digest This, or to find out more about Three Rivers Energy Partners, visit threeriversenergy.com or find us on LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. The sustainable future is being created right now. Keep exploring and keep up to speed with the latest in renewable energy and sustainability. See you next time.